another big bank holiday crowd as the match moves from Manchester to London. An estimated 45,000 at Highbury, where it's Derby Day. Arsenal against Spurs. Well, if you weren't in a fit state to join us from Old Trafford yesterday, Happy New Year. 1989 certainly got off to a flourishing start with Manchester United against Liverpool. It took a long time to really get going, over an hour, but when it did...
Beardsley. Alding has made a run, one side, Barnes on the other. And Liverpool in the lead. Hughes. Played in for Donaghy. And now for Beardsmore. Gone all the way. And a brilliant goal by McClare! United are 1-1. Beardsmore. Robbins. Nicol, they claimed handball, not given. And it's in there again! Mark Hughes. Sharp. Robbins tries to get in, and Beardsmore! 3-1!
Well, today it's London's turn. The Championship favourites Arsenal at home to their great rivals Spurs, and it signals the last game of the Christmas New Year period. And just listen to the reception. Well, there's been a full league programme this afternoon, of course. Everyone here knows the results. We'll let you know very shortly. Well, they're strong believers in tradition here at Highbury, and despite a lot of modernisation to the South Stand, there's still place for the famous old clock that was first installed here nearly 60 years ago. Well, it's about to make its reappearance from behind that blue tarpaulin up top there, and about to make that happen, today's two managers, George Graham and Terry Venables, along with Jim Rosenthal. And Jim, over to you.
Thank you very much indeed, Elton. A real babble of noise here. George, quite an act to follow, though, for both of you from yesterday. Are you going to manage to do that today?
I hope so, actually. I thought the first half was quite boring. Second half was very good with all the goals. I hope to see a lot of goals today and a very entertaining game.
Now, Terry, I read somewhere you still feel you could win the title. Is that right?
No, I never said that, no.
Well, what are your thoughts about the rest of the season?
Well, we've improved greatly, and we just hope to continue that improvement today. And I think that we've had some good results, but obviously this is the big test for us today.
And it's still a terrifically competitive race, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. Right throughout the league, a team gets a good run of 5 or 6 games. Anyone can be up there. What'd you say?
Yeah, just about here. Now, this clock, George, is a bit like welcoming back an old friend, isn't it? Because Highbury's not the same without the clock.
Yeah, very much so. I think this is part of history. At last they've filled the clock in with a wonderful construction here. It's nice to be part of history, both Terry and myself. And
you must have had a glance at the clock a few times, Terry, as a manager and as a player, I would think.
Yeah, once a time. It always used to go too slow for me.
OK, right. We'll have a little countdown. Gents, put your hands on it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull. Clock's away.
Well, it's live, that's for sure. All they've got to do now is learn how to tell the time. But as far as we're concerned, it's time for all today's results with Mark Austin at ITN. Mark.
Thanks, Elton. First, the First Division, and, of course, Arsenal-Tottenham in a few minutes' time. Elsewhere, goals galore. Coventry 5, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Luton 6, Southampton 1. Middlesbrough 1, Manchester United 0. Millwall 1, Charlton 0. Newcastle 0, Derby County 1. Nottingham Forest 2, Everton 0. Queen's Park Rangers 1, Norwich 1. West Ham 1, Wimbledon 2. In Division 2, Barnsley 0, Hull 2, Birmingham 0, Oldham 0, Blackburn 4, Stoke 3, Bournemouth 2, Brighton 1, Bradford 1, Sunderland 0, Crystal Palace 4, Walsall 0, Ipswich 2, Leicester 0, Manchester City 0, Leeds 0, Oxford 2, Chelsea 3, Plymouth 1, Watford 0, Portsmouth 0, Swindon 2, West Bromwich Albion 4, Shrewsbury 0. In Division 3, Aldershot 0, Cardiff 1, Blackpool 2, Bury 2, Bolton 0, Mansfield 0, Bristol City 0, Bristol Rovers 1, Fulham 3, Brentford 3, Huddersfield 3, Southend 2, Northampton 1, Preston 0. Port Vale 1, Notts County 0, Sheffield United 1, Chesterfield 3, Swansea 2, Reading 0, Wigan 3, Gillingham 0, Wolves 3, Chester 1. Division 4, Crewe versus Carlisle, an evening kick-off. Doncaster 3, Scarborough 1, Grimsby 2, Colchester 2, Halifax 5, Scunthorpe 1, Hartlepool 1, Rotherham 1, Hereford Torquay, evening kick-off, Rochdale 0, Leyton Orient 3. Stockport Exeter, evening kick-off, Tranmere 2, Burnley 1, Wrexham 3, Darlington 3, York 2, Lincoln 1. And just one result in Scotland, that's St Johnstone 2, Forfar 1.
Thanks, Mark. Well, currently we've got goals descending on us from all over the country. We'll be showing you as many as we possibly can from the First Division, hopefully all of them at half-time and at full-time. Of course, the top of the First Division has changed a wee bit as we join live, see this live now. Norwich a point ahead of Arsenal by virtue of that 1-1 draw at Queen's Park Rangers this afternoon. So Arsenal's incentive pretty clear. A win or a draw this afternoon will take them back to the top of the First Division. So let's just see what the atmosphere and the situation is live here at Highbury this afternoon. Our match commentator is Alan Parry.
Thank you, Elton, and let's begin by taking a check on today's teams. Arsenal in goal, John Lukic, who's played every game this season. At number 2, David O'Leary continues even though Lee Dixon is fit again. Number 3, Nigel Winterburn. At 4 is Michael Thomas, just voted Player of the Year by Arsenal fans. At 5, Steve Bold, who's partnered at the centre of defence by England's Tony Adams, the captain. At number 7, David Rocastle on the right-hand side of midfield. 8 is Kevin Richardson, continuing to keep out Paul Davis here. 9, Alan Smith, top scorer with 16 goals. At 10, Paul Merson, Smith's attacking partner. And 11, Brian Marwood. Sadly for all of us, although you wouldn't guess it by his expression, Paul Gascoigne isn't playing, but I know he's very upset to be missing this occasion. His ankle injury keeps him out of the Tottenham lineup. Bobby Mims in goal, he keeps his place despite all the criticism he's had this season. 2, Guy Butters, 19, he'll play at the centre defence. 3 is Mitchell Thomas, an attacking fullback. At 4, the sweeper, Terry Fenwick. 5 is Chris Fairclough. 6, Gary Mabbott, he'll be in midfield today, replacing Gascoigne in that position, in fact. 7, Paul Walsh. At 8, Gudni Bergson, the young trialist from Iceland. What an occasion for him. Number 9, Chris Waddle in brilliant form this season. 10 is Paul Stewart, he's now gone 7 games without a goal, in fact. 11, Paul Allen, a vital man in Tottenham's midfield. The Arsenal substitutes are Paul Davis and Perry Groves, Chris Hughton and Paul Moran for Tottenham. So a cracking atmosphere here, and really seldom has a North London derby been so eagerly anticipated. Referee Alan Seville from Birmingham with the 2 young mascots, I'm sure, and his linesman looking forward to the occasion as much as anyone. Arsenal, before today's games involving Norwich City, were top of the table, of course, and playing well enough to suggest they can stay there for many weeks to come. Spurs, with their early problems behind them, believing that they too have a team capable of challenging for the title, if not this season, then certainly next. What a game in prospect here. The conditions are perfect. Virtually a capacity crowd at Highbury. And what a moment for Gudni Bergson, the 23-year-old, when he made his debut for Spurs against Luton on Boxing Day. He's a part-timer and is on an extended trial from Tottenham. They're trying to obtain a work permit for him. He's quick, very composed on the ball, and certainly a player of the future. Arsenal then, second in the table now, a point behind Norwich. But perhaps they will feel it more significant that a win today would put them 12 points clear of Liverpool. So we're all set. Arsenal will start this 104th League derby in North London. Arsenal in the white shorts, attacking from right to left. Long ball from Richardson. Butters the number 2 for Tottenham. Thomas's header. And Butters in there again. Merson. Rocastle is Arsenal's 7. Merson let it run, and a fine effort from Marwood. Mims happy to see that one go over the bar. It was a good opportunist piece of thinking by Brian Marwood. Marwood's got 10 goals this season, including a couple of penalties, and the likes of him and Gudni Bergson will be having a real battle royal in this midfield today. Mabbott rising well for Tottenham. This is Stewart. Bergson with a throw. Paul Allen. And Butters taking no chances. He's only 19, this young boy. And that, in fact, was only 3 months ago. Fennick bringing the ball out from his sweeper's position. Waddle couldn't control it. Rocastle could. O'Leary. Allen. And Arsenal certainly coming at theirs in these opening minutes. Winterburn. Thomas. Look for Smith. Well won by Allen, who was caught by a rather high challenge from Richardson. The referee very sensibly quick to act there and calm what could have been a little explosive moment. Kevin Richardson, certainly not an aggressive player, but a very competitive one. Fennick's free kick. Stewart again the target, and he found him. O'Leary for Arsenal. Cut out by Mabbott. Mitchell Thomas. O'Leary in again. O'Leary just met it, and if it goes behind, it'll be an Arsenal throw, but kept in. Fennick. Walsh was the target, but easily met by Adams. But he'll be unhappy about his control. He was under no pressure, Tony Adams. Arsenal, incidentally, have lost only once in 9 matches at Highbury this season. 3-2 against Aston Villa in September, which remains their heaviest defeat, home or away. Bergson taking his time with the throw. Now Walsh. Lovely skill, and not a bad ball in either. Met by Bold. Waddle. Adams up well. Marwood. Smith. Forward by Thomas. Straight to his namesake on the Tottenham side, Mitchell Thomas. Smith finding Marwood. And Bergson shows that turn of speed that has so impressed Tottenham's manager Terry Venables. Richardson. Rocastle. This is O'Leary. Merson's made a fine run for him here, but just into an offside position, in fact. Well, Ian St John, as ever, from the history books, we know this is always a keenly contested game. You'll see how close they've been, and I doubt that this will be any different.
Well, very, very close, Al, isn't it? And I must say, I always enjoy coming here to London for the big derby matches. And what I've seen in the last few years, you know, they've been cracking games, and I think this will be no exception.
Adams. Well met by Butters. And Adams again, so dominant in the air. Mabbott, though, for Spurs. Given away. And Richardson cleans things up nicely. O'Leary. Good interception from Fairclough, but it's run loose, and Fairclough making sure that Merson couldn't profit. A long ball for Marwood, and Mims was given plenty of time in which to make up his mind. Kept 4 clean sheets since the arrival of the Norwegian international Thorsvedt. And clearly that's given him the inspiration he needed to get his game together again. Waddle coming deep. The Arsenal fans happy that Tottenham are keeping possession in these opening minutes. Why should they be? Venables saying that his team have improved 75% from this stage a year ago. It's that last 25% that's going to be so difficult to achieve. Allen. Now Fennick. In towards Walsh. And Rocastle defending well for Arsenal. Terrific run made by Merson in the outside right position. Certainly he's one of those players perhaps that the coaches and people in the game appreciate his qualities more than some spectators, and certainly one of his qualities is his running off the ball, which could be very important today. Walsh playing for handball, and the referee in fact has upheld that claim. Stewart being closely marked by Bold. Lukic came for a difficult ball. Bergson hit it goalwards. Well, what a moment that could have been for the young Icelandic international. It's a corner. Spurs were practicing their corners in a light training session this morning and feel they could profit from them. But not this time. Put it away by Adams. Fennick finding Walsh. Winterburn is very quick. Waddle. A lot of players in the middle waiting for the cross. So too is Arsenal's Adams. Fennick. Allen. Thomas. The 1-2 didn't quite come off. Fairclough. Mabbott underneath it. Well, Walsh was unlucky then, he just slipped, but the ball runs loose to Stewart. Rocastle. A nice bit of football from Walsh. But Arsenal in possession again with Winterburn. Thomas. Winterburn again. Marwood closely marked by Bergson. Thomas, good football from Arsenal. And Thomas's control just let him down at the vital moment, but it was neat play in a very congested situation. 10 minutes gone, still no goals here. As Waddle has possession for Spurs. And a lovely ball for Stewart over the head of the defenders, but O'Leary showed all his experience to get back and cover. David O'Leary, 15 years an Arsenal player, and grateful to get his opportunity to be back in the side, having lost his place earlier in the season to Steve Bold. Winterburn. Butters. Waddle wins it back for Spurs, but now Richardson. O'Leary. And Fairclough happy to concede the throw. Smith did well. Merson just lost it. Adams in quickly. Allen. And he's lost out under pressure. Marwood in the centre here, and it was a fine run which has brought a corner. Rocastle quick to seize on Allen's indecision. Corner's been taken quickly. Cleared by Mitchell Thomas, only as far as Michael Thomas. Rocastle. Marwood on the far side. It's a good-looking ball. Smith came to meet it, and it bounced ideally for Bobby Mims. Alan Smith, a real predator in that situation, just waiting for a rebound, which alas never came. Allen for Spurs. Well, again holding on to the ball perhaps a trifle too long then, Paul Allen. He got away with it this time though. And here's Walsh. Dispossessed by Thomas. I saw Arsenal winning 3-0 at Aston Villa on Saturday, and I must say it was quite the best away performance I've seen in the First Division for a long time. Very composed, very professional, a solid all-round display. Fairclough's header, cleared by Mabbott. Back in it comes. The linesman, in fact, is flagging for, I think, an offside against Smith. Ian St John.
I think Arsenal have a couple of ways of playing, Alan, because, as you say, against Aston Villa, they're playing very attractive football, you know, attacking style. But they also play a game, as they did against Norwich, which I saw a couple of weeks ago, where they have their two wide men coming in field, you know, almost as just midfield players. And they don't have any width about them. They do that when they think the game is going to be tight, and they're happy to get a point out of it.
Adams meets it at the back, and Bold very confidently back to his goalkeeper. Winterburn starts the next attack. Thomas, Richardson, Smith peeling away. And Smith trying to battle his way through, but Mitchell Thomas is a strong defender. And good composure on the ball. Fennick. Marwood. Now Winterburn moving into space. It's 2 against 1 on this left flank for Arsenal. But Bergson is exceptionally quick. Well, I must say, when I saw him play against Luton, it was hard to believe that he was a part-time player with no experience at the English First Division. This time, Marwood wriggles free of Bergson. Wall for Spurs. Intercepted by Rocastle. And Butters with the clearance. That's an Arsenal throw. Adams. Merson, Richardson. And Bergson met it second time, but it runs clear for Thomas, who finds Marwood. Plenty in the middle here. Across towards Smith, who felt he was obstructed as that cross came over. And the referee was ideally placed to say play on. With the clearance. This is Walsh. Adams very, very tight to him. There is scrap, literally, for possession. And Walsh was adjudged to have been the most aggressive. Marwood's cross, looking to pick out Alan Smith on the far post, and he felt he was, well, there was certainly a hand in his face, but I think it was accidental. Gone forward for the free kick. Smith it was who met it, and Bold. Walsh. Winterburn for Arsenal. Did well. Here's Merson. Richardson. It's a good ball. Winterburn. Smith in the middle, so is Merson. And offside.
I feel that Arsenal have got to attack down the flanks, Alan, if they're going to break the Tottenham boys down, because through the middle, with Fenwick dropping back, you know, as a sweeper and making a, you know, the extra man at the back there, it's very difficult to break them down through the middle. So I think they've got to get round the back. That's why I think that Marwood there and Rocastle on the other side, they should be getting right out onto the flanks and causing trouble with crosses.
Richardson for Arsenal then. Smith. The typically frenetic derby match pace in this opening quarter of an hour. Very, very difficult to try and slow the game down. A lot of quality out on this pitch, which is bound to come to the surface. Butters' header. Smith doing well. This is Rocastle. Marwood in a good forward position, but too far forward. He was offside. Terry Fenwick plays a vital part, Ian, in this plan, because, of course, Fenwick can see everything happening in front of him.
Well, he is a key player. When the opposition have the ball, he's always a player that drops back. But funnily enough, when they're attacking and they have the ball in the opposition's half, he steps forward, you know, and tries to win the ball in front of his own defenders. So we'll have to watch, you know, how he plays again tonight.
Certainly, Fenwick has contributed to 3 offside decisions against Arsenal in the space of a few minutes. Thomas for Arsenal. Winterburn takes over. Richardson. And lovely running by Thomas, but the ball just a shade too far ahead of him. Amazing to think that he was dropped this time a year ago, Michael Thomas. Now he's very much a key man, and recently, of course, won his first England cap. And as I was saying before the match, voted the 1988 Player of the Year by Arsenal supporters. So quite a transformation in 12 months for him. Slice the kick to his embarrassment and the delight of the Arsenal supporters. Smith, Marwood forward. Fairclough there ahead of Merson. Arsenal player in the penalty area, and he finds him. Rocastle takes over. And a couple of unlucky deflections there for Arsenal. Adams with a header. Smith. Marwood. Well, it was well wide, of course, but the first-time volley, quite a skill to master.
Very difficult, but funnily enough, we've seen some terrific volleys in the Football League this year. I'm thinking of Mark Hughes in particular, Rocastle on Saturday, marvellous volley. And it's maybe an art now that the players are working on it, training, because I've seen it so often in the Football League this year.
Mabbott flicks it on. O'Leary clear. And Butters just misjudged it. Fenwick didn't. He judged it to perfection. Bergson. Fenwick, as ever, the starting point for most of the Tottenham attacks. Thomas let it run, but managed to keep it in. Good interception from O'Leary. Looking for Merson. Bergclough and Bergson dealing with the problem. Well, it's pretty cagey. Adams taking the route back to goal, as most players have done so far. Two teams with a healthy respect for each other, and no one taking any gambles as yet. Thomas, Walsh. Loose foul by Richardson. Terry Venables, a modern manager with modern thoughts, and making notes of anything he sees going wrong, or perhaps even right, so that he can use that information in his half-time team talk. It's a good free kick. Met by the Arsenal head of Bold. It's gone behind for the corner. 6'4", Steve Bold. And not much gets over his head. And you think that Tony Adams is, what, 6'2" as well. There's certainly plenty of height at the centre of this Arsenal defence. Waddle with the corner. So Thomas coming to the near post, well met by Lukic. Waddle back in. Has it again. Walsh's header. Cleared by Thomas. Back it comes from Fenwick. Walsh again. This is Stewart. Mabbott to his left. We couldn't find him. Although Mabbott made the most of not a very good ball. Shot blocked by Bull. And it's really fizzing around like a pinball machine in there at the moment. Marwood offside when it finally came into the Tottenham half. Stewart again wanting the ball from the free kick. Goes to Bergson, and a good header again. It's two fine headers by the Icelandic player that have both earned their corners. This one quickly taken. Waddle curls in a difficult ball. Smith who headed it clear. Walsh. Waddle got free, but the offside flag goes up. So it makes a change for a Tottenham player to find himself the victim of offside. It's given quite a lot to Arsenal so far in this game. And with so many offsides in, it's obviously interrupting the flow.
Well, there's nothing more annoying, obviously, for the football fan or whoever happens to be sitting at home watching this when the offside does annoy you, but Arsenal do play it quite well. You know, they hold their back line and you run offside rather than they play it.
Bergson. Drops, though, for Thomas. Marwood. Good ball in. Merson. Arsenal take the lead. Paul Merson. And a goal almost forged from nothing. Paul Merson's marksmanship absolutely superb.
Well, I've been saying about getting the ball in from the flank, and it was a smashing ball in. And of course, Smith is deadly in there, a little flick on. We have to give Merson credit because he's running away from goal, but still managed to turn and get it across the goalkeeper and into the far corner. Super strike.
Arsenal in front then. Paul Merson's 8th goal of the season. Just the start that Arsenal wanted. 24 minutes gone, and they're ahead. They have dominated most of their recent matches against their North London rivals. In fact, Spurs have won only 3 of the last 13 meetings in League and Cup. And few have been as important in league terms as this one. Spurs have a free kick. Waddle takes it. It was a good header from Walsh, but wide.
They're terrific free kicks, you know, on balls that Waddle plays into the box. They've got a lot of pace on them. They're zipped in head height, you know, and they're marvellous balls for strikers.
Paul Merson has scored 6 goals in his last 9 games now. Sweetly struck away across the goalkeeper's body. He's only 20. It's his first full season in the First Division.
Georgie Graham actually has nursed him along well, hasn't he, Alan? Because he doesn't always have him playing a full 90 minutes. And I think that's been a good thing for him, because he will retain his strength going through the season. As against, we see so many young players just, you know, have a good first half of the season and then fade. I think this boy will go right through the season now.
So Arsenal have their tails up again. And I must say, when they took the lead at Aston Villa, they never looked like relinquishing it. Rocastle. Good ball, Richardson to Winterburn. And a big gap opens up for Winterburn. Now Richardson. Smith. And wobbled back to intercept. Good ball, Merson. Marwood is in the middle here. And Bergson just did enough, I think, to put him off. Marwood made contact, so it's a goal kick. But the defender made it difficult for him. Alan Smith played a vital part with that lovely header in Merson's goal, and George Graham was saying he'll score over 20 goals this season and make the same amount for other players. Walsh felt he was charged down, and a little incident developing in the middle there. Richardson and Stewart involved. Other players pile in to part them. The referee wants a word, certainly, with Paul Stewart. And he's reached for his card.
Well, that's a case of a player interfering in something that's none of his business. You know, it was a foul by Adams. The referee had blown, and Paul Stewart went in and had a little push at Adams.
Now Paul Stewart becomes the first player to be cautioned by referee Seville, and Chris Waddle might be the second if he doesn't keep out of it. Stewart will calm down, hopefully, and take his place for the free kick, which you know, was Tottenham's right anyway, just underlining Ian's point. They had the free kick, he didn't need to get involved. And it goes from Waddle again, a wicked curling free kick, but it comes to nothing, and Rocastle will lead the counter-attack. Marwood is in a lot of space on the left, unmarked, and he finds him. And again, Arsenal win a corner from what was a difficult position, a free kick in their own half of the field. Superb counter-attacking. Both Bold and Adams come forward for the kick. Those two big central defenders. Over all their heads, in fact. Thomas it was who headed it clear, and here's the other Thomas, the Arsenal version. Difficult ball for Mims. Bergson did well. Waddle. What a fine ball. Allen. And well read by Winterburn. 15 minutes to half-time. Paul Merson's goal keeps Arsenal in front. Allen. Mabbott. I'm sure there was a time, certainly last season, when Tottenham might have folded in a similar situation to this, but this is a very different Spurs side. They've got more confidence now, and look, better formation. And Arsenal will know only too well that Spurs are far from out of this. Everybody seems to stand still and leave it to each other. O'Leary finally clears it. Merson. That was a fine piece of running back by Mitchell Thomas. Abbott dispossessed. And Arsenal eager. Really biting in midfield. Very competitive. And looking good here now. Richardson. Thomas. Winterburn charging forward on his left. He looks for Merson instead. That was ambitious. Bennett looking for Bergson. Rocastle for Arsenal. Well, he tried to be a bit too clever. Waddle. Rocastle fighting hard to win that one back, but using his arm unfairly. It's a free kick against him. And a look from Chris Waddle that says, I should think so. Fennick with the kick. Bergson was the player on the edge of the box. In fact, it went over his head to Butters, but went over his head as well.
I don't feel really that Tottenham have enough players in their midfield, you know, to get hold of the ball, Alan.
Just seeing from the other side of the ground, a beautiful flick-on header from Smith that led to that fine Arsenal goal from Merson.
It was a super goal, and for any young player watching, you know, you have to always say, if you play it across the goalkeeper, you've got a great chance of scoring.
Richardson, here's Merson again. Smith. Cole's header. And Richardson doing well. Smith. What fine control that was. Winterburn. Marwood to his left. And again, very good defending by Bergson. Probably the first time you've seen this lad, I would think, Ian.
Yes, it is, and I mean, he's doing a man-for-man marking job on Marwood. And he isn't doing badly. You know, he's sticking to his task well. But the fact that he's doing that, if Marwood takes him out the road, lets Winterburn come through on that side. I was just making a point before about Spurs midfield. You know, they don't seem to have enough players there who can get a hold of the ball and keep a hold of it for any length of time.
Of course, they're badly missing the injured Paul Gascoigne in that respect.
Well, obviously, yes, key player.
But Walsh did a good job for them then, and he's earned a free kick, despite the protests of the Arsenal players. And that was a bit unnecessary there. They converged on the linesman then. They have, over the years, had a bit of a reputation with some Arsenal players for arguing with officials, and George Graham has tried to stamp it out. their tempers just got the better of them then. Anyway, it's a free kick. As ever, the decision doesn't change. Waddle again, bends it in, and there was an infringement as the ball came over. It's a free kick to Arsenal. George Graham watching from the director's box with managing director Ken Fryer sitting next to him, and it looks as though he's going to use even more modern technology than a notebook and pen. He's on the telephone to offer his instructions to Theo Foley down on the bench, his assistant.
He may be phoning a wife to send her home early.
With 3 points, I wonder. Smith. And Butters forced into the error. Richardson. O'Leary getting into space, but it was a... Oh, well, it was a bad ball, but Waddle couldn't control it. O'Leary here. And the errors continued in that particular move. And not at the other end. Adams very calm. Free header allowed there for Merson. Smith gives it him back. Bergson intercepts. And then loses out and gives away the free kick, tripping Rocastle in order to atone for his own error. And no one has retrieved the ball. Mims certainly in no hurry to let Arsenal get on with the free kick. Mims awaits. Marwood with the shot in the end. And Merson got on the end of it, and Smith is in there. The linesman is flagging. The goal may not stand, and in fact won't. Quick thinking by the Arsenal front man, but the linesman had signalled before the ball hit the back of the net. Marwood curling it in. Merson's header, and clearly bowled in an offside position. As he and Smith went for the loose ball. Balled at the other end, but he's lost out this time to Stewart. Good challenge, though, by Winterburn. The Tottenham competing for everything now. Allen. Oh, he did so well. Well met by Bold. Bergson's giving it away. Rocastle forward to Merson. Good defending from Furcott. And another frenetic little period of the game, this. And the speed of modern football really takes your breath away at times. You've got to be a super fit athlete as well as a good player technically to live in the First Division these days. Free kick to Tottenham. Foul by Merson. Waddle. Thomas and Waddle again. Walsh. Good turn. A disappointing finish. Paul Walsh, remember, in the 3 years he spent at Anfield, he was regarded as one of the most skillful players on Liverpool's books, and that's quite a compliment. But his goal-scoring record is very disappointing, and in fact he's only scored 3 times in 28 matches for Tottenham.
That's actually a very, very poor record, isn't it, for a player with as much skill as Paul Walsh. I mean, he's a quick little player, he turns well in the box, but he seems to have dried up as far as goals are concerned, because as a youngster he looked a very prolific goal scorer.
Arsenal leading by a goal to nil then. And here's the scorer, Merson, challenging with Thomas. And he wins it and gets it back from Smith. A good ball as well. Marwood let it run intelligently. Winterburn. Thomas. Oh, right across the face of goal. And Arsenal just didn't have anyone close enough. It's a goal kick.
Arsenal are certainly tearing them apart down this left-hand side of the field. As I said, Winterburn is coming up to assist Marwood there, and Tottenham really don't have anybody filling the hole to assist young Bergson there.
Nigel Winterburn seen off the challenge of England's Kenny Sansom, now transferred to Newcastle. Marwood to Smith. Waddle for Spurs. It's a good ball. Stewart. Mabbott in the middle. And Walsh. This is Mabbott. Oh, it just dropped the wrong place as far as Spurs were concerned. Richardson able to hook it away. Stewart for Spurs. There's not many people who push him off the ball. He's so strong. So is Adams. But Spurs are pushing a lot of players forward and Arsenal can't get out. Waddle into Walsh. And the linesman had flagged for offside. Stewart went up with his boot high as well. So I feel if anything had come of that, it wouldn't have counted.
Well, a catalogue of mistakes, really, in the Arsenal defence at the moment. Adams coming out there and giving a terrible ball. And Richardson had given it away just before that as well. So, I mean, they're dicing a little bit as we come up to half-time.
And clearly offside, Stewart.
Actually, the linesman threw his flag up a little late there, didn't he?
Our camera on the 18-yard line spotting the infringement. Butter's header. Waddle let it run. And Waddle is there again with Walsh. And Waddle. The referee had a long look and did not point to the penalty spot. And I must say, one's instant appraisal of that situation was that a penalty should have been the outcome. But no penalty given. Spurs battle on with Allen. 3 minutes to half-time. That is a crucial talking point. And Bold wins it. Winterburn. And now Marwood. Thomas takes over. Smith. But Paul Allen has it. And now Waddle for Spurs. Great run has been made by Mitchell Thomas, peeling away from the Arsenal defenders. And Bergson in support on the right. 2 minutes to half-time. Arsenal lead 1-0. Walsh for Spurs. And the linesman had flagged again for offside. Well, certainly John Lukic must have been a relieved man when referee Seville allowed play to run on here. Waddle through. Lukic came. Now, does that constitute a penalty? I would say yes.
Well, if that wasn't a penalty kick, I have never seen one. I mean, that was a blatant penalty.
Ian St John sitting on the fence as ever, but I've got to agree with him. And of course, the referee, it has to be said, doesn't have the benefit of that kind of angle or that kind of second look at it. But Spurs will feel aggrieved. Waddle with the kick. A minute remaining in the first half. Arsenal leading 1-0. Walsh is there. The Spurs doing well here and holding them all off. Stewart turns it back. It hit Bold. And the Tottenham fans wanted a penalty again. Here's Waddle. Newcastle for Arsenal. It's been a good period for Spurs because Arsenal have been pinned back in their own half now for 10 minutes or so. Collins, Marwood, Bergson. And Fennick to go back. There's the half-time whistle. Boos from the Tottenham fans who feel that they should have had a penalty, and possibly another one when Bowl was involved minutes later. But it's Paul Merson's goal that separates the sides at half-time. Plenty left in this match, though. Tottenham will come back in the second half, I'm sure. But at half-time at Highbury, Arsenal lead by 1-0.
Thanks, Alan. I wonder how many of you referees at home would have given that penalty to Spurs. Quite a few, I would think. Well, only Aston Villa and Liverpool haven't been in action today. They meet at Anfield tomorrow. There were 8 First Division games played earlier this afternoon. We'll have goals after the break, including a David Speedy hat-trick for Coventry. We'll be back. Welcome back. Arsenal in charge here at Highbury thanks to Paul Merson's goal and the benevolence of referee Alan Seville. Arsenal, of course, needed just a point to take over at the top of the First Division again. At the moment, it's Norwich who got a draw against Queen's Park Rangers this afternoon, 1-1. Reporting on all today's other events, Mark Austin. And first of all, from Loftus Road, Martin Tyler.
We start with Norwich City in second place at Queen's Park Rangers. Remember Alan Taylor, who scored 2 goals for West Ham in the 1975 FA Cup final? Well, at 35, he's having a second spell with Norwich City. And today he started a Division 1 game for the first time since 1980. And after 59 minutes, Taylor on target. Almost 9 years since his last goal at this level. But it wasn't the winner. Mark Falco, who scored 2 late goals at Southampton on Saturday, rescued a point for Rangers in the 89th minute. But Norwich's 1 point enough for the moment to take them back to the top. 1-1.
Peter Davenport hadn't scored in 11 games for Middlesbrough. Today he finally opened his account against his former club Manchester United. Stuart Ripley did the hard work and Davenport's task was relatively simple. Defeat for United, that only emphasises the inconsistency of their season.
At Highfield Road, Coventry City in 7th place found Sheffield Wednesday just what they wanted to start the new year. Steve Sedgley, the scorer, 1-0 Coventry 7 minutes before half-time. And that really triggered off John Sillett's side. 2 in 2 minutes, David Speedy, Coventry's new captain, clearly rising to his responsibilities. Coventry very glad to have David Bennett back in full working order after his broken leg, and it was Bennett who supplied Speedy for his second, Coventry's third, a minute into the second half. Wednesday's problems multiplying, Siggy Johnson sent off. Speedy then completed his second hat-trick of the season, 4-0. His previous one against Middlesbrough in October, he'd been on the losing side. 2 minutes from time, handball by Gary Megson, and Coventry have a penalty. Brian Kilcline stepping up, his penalty as emphatic as Coventry's win. Coventry City 5, Sheffield Wednesday 0.
At Newcastle, Peter Shilton kept Derby in the match and Mark Wright won them the points from this free kick, his first of the season. Newcastle 0, Derby County 1.
West Ham's left-back Julian Dix has just become the father of twins. Maybe that was on his mind when he let Keith Curle dispossess him and create Wimbledon's opening goal. The scorer with a thumping drive, Dennis Wise, after 14 minutes. West Ham very nervy at this stage, but the boost they needed came when Leroy Rossignol caught Wimbledon square at the back. The flag stayed down. That's 1-1. And that's the way it stayed until 6 minutes from the end, when somehow Wise's free kick found its way via friend and foe in the West Ham net. The word from Upton Park from manager Bobby Gould is the goal belongs to Wise.
And finally, an East London derby at the Den. Charlton, without a win in 21 matches, were looking set for a point at Millwall, but in the 87th minute, that Sheringham-Cascarino partnership once again. Sheringham with the cross, Cascarino the header down, and substitute David Thompson scored his first goal for the club.
Another 1-0 win for Millwall. They're making a bit of a habit of that. So 6 of the 8 First Division games played there this afternoon. We've got 2 more to come. Nottingham Forest 2-0 victory over Everton and Luton's 6-1 victory over Southampton. We'll have those at the end of this afternoon's match at Highbury. After the break, it's Gaza. Join us again.
welcome back to the match, coming to you live from Highbury. Arsenal a goal up then, and Paul Gascoigne sadly not fit enough to play. But Paul, you've been in the Spurs dressing room. What's the mood like in there?
It's very high at the moment, you know. The lads are not very happy twice, you know, being a goal down, and obviously the penalty decision.
Let's have another look at the goal. And from Tottenham's point of view, I think you might be just a little bit disappointed if you see it down here at the way Paul Merson was allowed to turn and get a shot in.
That's right, you know. I think he's scored a couple of goals from this angle, and I think just turning and having a shot, he done very well. But it was a good goal on behalf of him, you know. He turned very well and nipped into the bottom corner.
Very good bit of finishing, Paul, but there was a controversial moment that all the Spurs players that I've seen have been complaining about. The penalty, John Lukic on Chris Waddle. Here's a chance for you to have another look at it. Waddle going through. What do you feel?
Looking at that, you know, from up the stands it looked very close, but looking at that, I think it was definitely a penalty, you know. Chris Waddle's not very happy about it.
Different angle for you now, Paul. Just seems to push it away from him, and then the keeper takes his legs.
Oh, well, it's definitely penalty, but you don't know whether the referee's seen it or not, but also, surely the linesman's seen it, and could have been a penalty.
Do you feel Spurs are going to get back into it in the second half?
I would like to think so. It's been end stuff, and just hopefully we can.
And not a great Christmas for you personally, Paul, eh?
Not very good Christmas so far. Hopefully we make it up in the new year.
OK, we look forward to seeing you in action again in '89, of course. Let's go back to our commentary team then, and that, of course, is Ian St John and your match commentator, Alan Parry.
Thanks, Jim, and certainly a lot of debate in the crowd all around us here in the magnificent main stand at Highbury about that incident, and one which followed it shortly afterwards, where some of the Tottenham fans felt that this man, Steve Bold, had handled the ball. But of course, it's Tottenham's job now to forget all about that and get on with the game. A trail by 1-0. No substitutions made by either side, as far as I can see, and it's Spurs in the white shirts who kick off, attacking from right to left. Stewart. Richardson for Arsenal. The feeling, I think, all around us that the game has been so fast and frenetic that no one has really settled down to play the kind of football they're capable of. But I guess that's typical of a derby match, particularly one on which so much really hangs, especially from Arsenal's point of view. After today, by the way, they've got 11 home games in the league and 7 away. And that really ought to place them in the driving seat as far as the Championship is concerned. That's something they haven't won for 18 years, since George Graham, their manager, was part of the double-winning team. Fennick looking for Stewart. Well met again by Adams. Marwood. Winterberg. Smith with a little header. Good play from Fennick. Intercepted, and then find Waddle. Waddle perhaps Tottenham's best hope of getting back in this game. Here's Walsh. Thomas dispossesses him. Marwood. And again, so much space for Winterburn to move into on the left. Thomas. Marwood felt he moved into an offside position then. He seemed to run the opposite way to the ball and was onside. Allen for Spurs. And that's not the way to get Chris Waddle into the game. Smith. O'Leary forward. The name is one for him though. Bergson back to Fennick. Met by Stewart. Bergson. Walsh. It's a good ball for Allen. Stewart taking up a position in the middle, and Allen wins the corner. Will go over to take the kick, and the big central defender, Guy Butters, there he is, just run through the pitch to the number 2, coming forward onto the near post with Mitchell Thomas. But met by Smith. Came back in, and the linesman immediately saw an infringement. Free kick to Arsenal. Spurs really haven't seen enough of Arsenal this season. They played them in the pre-season international tournament at Wembley in August and got thrashed 4-0, lost 3-2 in the league game at White Hart Lane in September. And really could do with evening up one or two old scores against their great rivals. There's Walsh. Room to burn though for Arsenal. Marwood. Good ball in. Oh no, a little bit too deep. In fact, Smith came for it and then went away. Tony Adams wondering if Bobby Mims can be beaten again, because it surely will take a second goal to make this game safe. Spurs have done enough to suggest that they can get back into the match. Rocastle for Arsenal. It's very, very hard to run with the ball in this midfield. Marwood, Thomas, given away to Bergson. Winterburn really stuck to his job then and wouldn't allow Bergson an inch in which to manoeuvre. That has just met it in time under pressure from Smith. Allen finding Walsh. Waddle in space, unmarked in the middle, and he's seen him! Waddle! Well, Lukic got there as Thomas went for the rebound. But what a marvellous piece of running by Waddle, who made 60, 70 yards to get into a scoring position then. Well spotted and well found by Walsh.
Waddle has started the game wide on the left and really should have done better. Should have hit the target with the initial header. That was a great chance.
Yes, credit to Waddle for getting into the space, but of course your finishing has to be of similar quality. In the modern First Division, very few chances fall the way of front men.
See, he's come out wide on the left-hand side to start of the second half. It could be that he wants to have a go at O'Leary down this side. You know, David O'Leary there is, you know, he's just a stand-in fullback, and I'm surprised actually that Tottenham didn't have a go at this earlier on.
Arsenal lead, remember, 1-0. Walsh for Spurs. Waddle. Free kick. Chris Waddle is in fact joint top scorer at Tottenham this season with 7 goals. Still feeling the effects of that trip, but he's all right now. Panic. Richardson blocked it, and Tottenham have a corner. Good-looking kick. Mabbutt rose well, but Bold was first to it. Rocastle as Arsenal break. Now with Merson. What a glorious ball. Marwood. Merson again. Richardson. Rocastle was offside.
Actually, I think it was Merson that was offside through the middle, because Rocastle was watching the line there. But a good attack by Arsenal, you know, they switched the ball from one side of the field to the other.
Waddle for Spurs. Good ball. Stewart. Thomas is in space here, completely unmarked. He seemed to really be indecisive then, because it was almost as though he didn't expect no defender to be around him, and he took too much time. Thomas comes charging forward for Arsenal meantime. But Fennick intercepts. Now Waddle. Thomas. O'Leary wins it. Walsh. Dispossessed by Bold. Thomas, a lovely ball from Marwood in space here. Bergson racing back to try and cover the gap, and he's done so. And Arsenal have another corner. Bold, the big number 5, going to the near post. He flicks it on dangerously. Bergson clear. Richardson intercepted though by Mitchell Thomas. Stewart is a long way forward for Spurs here, and he's seen him. That's a bad ball. And Stewart in the end gets it. In towards Waddle. Well, Waddle has had 2 good opportunities in the space of a few minutes. Both of them headers. And he'll be very frustrated he's missed again, Ian.
Well, again, it was a lovely chance. I mean, he's only about, what, 7 or 8 yards out when he headed it. You know, I think any forward that plays in that position would say, well, you've got to certainly hit the target. But, I mean, he just glanced at it with his head and knocked it wide. But that's 2 very good chances. I mean, Tottenham, if they don't get back into this game, will look at those 2 and say, what would have happened had we knocked them in at the start of the second half?
The warning signs are there for Arsenal. Free kick given, foul by Mitchell Thomas on David Rocastle. Rocastle winning the first challenge, and then clearly had his ankles taken. So Arsenal have had an unsettling start to this second half. Tottenham could well have had a goal, but it's still 1-0 to the home side. Winterburn. Thomas. Winterburn again into space. Really relishes getting forward. Thomas once more. Will hit that, surely. And that's a goal kick. Bergson again, just deceiving Marwood. Lovely character, great personality in the Arsenal dressing room, and has made a big difference to their side this season. In fact, he's brought the great tribute from George Graham that he reminds him of Geordie Armstrong, a great winger in Arsenal's double team. And Abbott flicks it off. Thomas. Arsenal's throw. Smith, there's Merson, swinging rather wildly at that. Came off Waddle, in fact, from O'Leary's clearance. And would you believe the ball's actually landed up on our television gantry? Well, I'm not going for it, and the Saint's not as fit as he used to be, so thank you very much. ITV do their bit for televised football by retrieving the ball as well. Smith. Free kick. And it's gone Tottenham's way, to Smith's amazement. Waddle looking for Stewart here, and Stewart won it as well. It came to Mabbott, and Bergson onto the loose ball. And that was an opportunity. Well, the 23-year-old Icelandic international, who is still an amateur player, could have had a goal in the first half, and could have had one then.
They're looking very loose in defence, aren't they, Arsenal? Every time at Tottenham attack now, they seem to be creating a chance.
Thomas. Waddle for Spurs. Merson won it back though. Here's Stewart. Waddle in space on the left. Now Walsh. Mabbott in a difficult challenge with Richardson, and Marwood overhit the ball for Merson. Fairclough had time to reach it first. And certainly there have been plenty of encouraging moments for Spurs so far in the second half, although they're still a goal down. Mabbott, their captain, was fouled by Michael Thomas. Stewart up for Walsh. It was a lovely little header. Allen is the only Tottenham player in the middle, and Lukic, being 6'4", brushed him aside. One of the biggest goalkeepers in the league. Smith with a header. Cleared by Fenwick. This is Waddle for Spurs. Thomas. Waddle again, lovely skill, but 3 Arsenal players converged on him. Smith. Fenwick intercepts, but straight to O'Leary. Merson flicked it on, and Marwood keeps it in. Good cross, Smith! Butters did superbly well. That was great defending by the young man.
Well, what a marvellous cross in by Marwood, Alan. I mean, he really whipped that one in, and I thought Alan Smith, certainly from this angle, looked to me as if he might have got a foot to it. We'll be able to see it from here. He got across the front of Butters, so really had a chance to get his foot in there, and I think he missed it, and then Butters won it.
So Spurs close to conceding a second, perhaps, but still very much in this game. Thomas, Waddle. Smith, though, for Arsenal. What a good game he's had. Rocastle. Oh, Chris Waddle's used to doing that to other players. He's not used to having it done to him, as Rocastle twisted and turned and sold him the dummy, and then Waddle brought him down. Merson and Smith waiting for the free kick to be delivered by number 11 Marwood. Gold and Adams are up there as well. And it was a Tottenham head that reached it first. And Fairclough. Winterburn. Good play by Merson, and offside. In fact, I think when Merson received that ball, he was in an offside position, so the cross was rather academic. A massive crowd in Highbury then, and Paul Merson's 24th minute goal continues to separate these teams. This the 104th league meeting of the cream of North London football. Rocastle for Arsenal. Mitchell Thomas right with him. Turns it back, but only to O'Leary. Delivered in towards Merson on the far post. Mims fists it clear to Allen. And now it's Tottenham's turn to be pinned back. Smith. Rocastle. It's a second chance, and then fluffs it. Every professional footballer's embarrassment, that. Should have been an easy piece of control. Waddle in lots of space in the middle of the field. Bergson. Winterburn with a fine challenge. Now Marwood for Arsenal. Good throw by Waddle, quick and into the space. Walsh onto it. This is Allen. Stewart is in the middle, but the cross never strong enough. Arsenal player lying injured, in fact, from that attack. Old clock back in place, ticks on, and as you can see, another terrific crowd here at Highbury. In fact, their highest of the season for a league game. Liverpool have been here in the Little Woods Cup and attracted a bigger crowd, but that's a fine turnout. Winterburn back on his feet. Has vacated his seat in the director's box and is down with Theo Foley now on the Arsenal bench. He knows how important this match is in Arsenal's season. The first to say that being top at this stage doesn't matter, but against their old rivals, they very much want to win this. Remember, Norwich went back to the top of the First Division and kicked off at 3 o'clock today. And Arsenal currently a point behind them in second place. O'Leary forward to Smith. Mitchell Thomas. Brought down by Rocastle. Fenwick's free kick. Driven in towards Stewart, came off Richardson's head, in fact. O'Leary clear. Thomas, a good clearance at Merson. Butters forward, trying to find Waddle, but Winterburn wins it. Now Thomas, a little bit optimistic, expecting Marwood to get that, or Winterburn rather. And in fact, he fouled anyway, so Spurs have a free kick. Bergson's done pretty well against that kind of pace down that left-hand side today. Terry Venables still hoping and urging. Stewart's downward header, but only into Arsenal territory. Here's Thomas. Fenwick intercepts. Waddle. Adams ahead of Walsh. No real flow or pattern in the game still. It's also quick and busy. And the free kick has been given to Arsenal.
You're right enough,
the aggressor.
You're right enough saying that. It is very bitty, isn't it? You know, there's neither team in the second half have managed to sort of settle down and play any composed football. It's all a bit frenetic at the moment. But you have to feel a little bit sorry for Tottenham because they're the team that have created the chances in the second half.
Yes, you feel this is the kind of game poised now where a goal for either side will really bring it back to life again. Midway through the second half, Arsenal 1, Tottenham 0. This is Stewart for Spurs, given to Rocastle of Arsenal. Smith, Rocastle again. Merson. Rocastle takes over. Mabbott really sticking to him. There's just no room to move, is there? Now Fairclough for Spurs. Walsh. Waddle. Turned on. And Fairclough continues his run down the middle. He lunged at the ball, but Bowl did well.
Good positive run that by Chrissy Fairclough. I mean, Tottenham have been more adventurous in the second half. You know, they've thrown more players forward. Mitchell Thomas has tried to get forward a few times as well. And of the two teams at the moment, I think they've put more into the game.
Thomas to Smith. And he's been hacked from behind. And the youngster, Guy Butters, so it's a free kick. Nelson, watched closely by Fairclough in the middle. Fenwick got there first, comes to Richardson. Took a deflection, so it's a corner. It's a year since he got a goal, Kevin Richardson. Came into the side when Paul Davis was suspended. This is his 16th game in succession, and he really has been outstanding. And the shot just flicked off either Fenwick or Butters for a corner. High, but no Arsenal head anywhere near it. Marwood again. Oh, he's delivered another glorious cross there. It really had Tottenham in two minds. Fenwick and Butters going up together, and Arsenal have a corner.
He's working his socks off, isn't he, young Marwood? I mean, there he was, crossing the ball from the right. Now he's gone up the other end to take the corner kick from the left-hand side.
Fenwick marshals his defenders again. Stewart is back helping them out. But this time the corner didn't quite have enough power, but Marwood can try again. Stewart did a good job. He was the one who cleared. Now O'Leary, a fine ball. Merson, two in the middle for him. He pulled it back towards Smith, and it was Fairclough and Mitchell Thomas in the end who got it away. Walsh dispossessed by Adams. The linesman is flagging here. Not quite to see why. It certainly didn't look like offside, Alan Smith, but anyway, it's gone. Fenwick. Free kick to Tottenham. Paul Davis, one of the Arsenal substitutes, perhaps getting ready to come on here as Spurs take the kick over Bergson's head, but Walsh is behind him and keeps it in. And then gives it away. Adams concedes the throw. Fenwick for Spurs. Now Butters. In towards Stewart. Bold is there for Arsenal, and a break on here perhaps. Rocastle leading it, Thomas is with him. He's got three other men forward. This is Thomas. Well, he just took his eyes off the ball at the wrong time. And the meeting of two big strong men, Bold and Stewart. And it results in a free kick to Tottenham. Waddle. Can Spurs get back into this? Offside against Paul Stewart. Paul Stewart, big money signing from Manchester City, £1.5 million, a very strong player, good goal-scoring record, in fact joint top scorer in the second division last season with 24. They're going through a bit of a thin patch in front of goal at the moment for Spurs. Winterburn for Arsenal. The interception was by Fairclough, and then he in turn gives it away to Thomas. Now Winterburn. Marwood. Delivered into Smith again. Butters heads it clear. Only as far as Richardson. He did well, but not well enough. Allen for Tottenham. Oh, and Adams did so well, and that was a bad challenge. The referee has reached for his notebook. I must say it's unlike the player concerned. He's certainly not that type of player at all. But as Adams had charged through the first tackle, he just kept going. And we'll see again. Ooh, well, it was certainly late.
It wasn't actually as bad as it looked. I don't think that Faithful tried it, but it was the fact that Adams came flying through. You know, he was caught by surprise at Adams continuing with his run. And I think he just stuck his foot in there and Adams went flying. I don't think it was anything intentional in that.
No, because he's not that kind of player.
No, he's not.
So Gary Lewin, the Arsenal physio, just administering treatment, and Fairclough showing the yellow card.
Just a word about the pitch here today. There's a lot of divots getting picked up, Alan, isn't there? You know, you look at the pitch there, and I've seen one or two players today miscontrolling the ball, and I think it's to do with the soft top on this pitch, and it's cutting up.
Paul Davis, the Arsenal substitute, ready to come on. George Graham is anxious to attract the referee's attention, and in fact, he's coming on. Adams is all right. Richardson's the player who's gone off. And a terrific Highbury welcome for the reappearance of Paul Davis. 16 matches he's missed since that 9-game ban. If that doesn't sound too Irish, he couldn't win his place back in the side when he was available again, as the free kick is quickly delivered. 15 minutes to go. Davis is going to find it hard to readjust to the pace of this game, I can tell you. Waddle forward, Spurs still in with a hope. Quarter of an hour remaining, they're a goal down. Waddle for Tottenham. Oh, Walsh and Winterburn did well. He couldn't take the chance that Lukic would reach it first. And Spurs are fighting hard for this now. Allen. A good second challenge. And it's really boiling up into quite a climax now. The game has gone through a disappointing 15 minutes or so. Scrappy and all a bit too quick. But I feel we're in for quite a finish now. Winterburn whipping the ball away then as danger threatened from Walsh. Back on the pitch, there's a delay because David Rocastle is injured. Whether he's got a knock or perhaps he wears contact lenses.
I think he got a bit of a knock there and challenging for that ball in the centre circle.
Confirmation there of the very different...
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? But the thing is this, if you've got a good side, Alan, you very rarely need to change it. And I think Arsenal's position in the league dictates that. And that was it. That was the challenge there that gave him a little bang in the head.
Yes, certainly all the successful championship sides over the years have used very few players. And when you have to chop and change, clearly that doesn't help anyone. Tottenham with so many changes in a year or so that Terry Venables has been in charge. Arsenal will try and push on and consolidate. A second goal surely would be enough for them now. But as long as it remains at 1-0, they're in danger. Another fine run by Winterburn, but he didn't win the corner. It came off him. Spurs know they need to do something quickly. Walsh. Adams behind it. It's an Arsenal throw. Smith's had a good one. Nelson took it down well. Davis is there, and a good interception from Chris Fairclough. Here's O'Leary. Nelson moved into an offside position, and again Tottenham have frustrated Arsenal with this effective system in which Van Eyck just took the free kick when is so important. Walsh won it well. I think that came off Waddle, it did. It's Arsenal's throw.
He stuck to his job well, David O'Leary at right back, hasn't he? You know, he hasn't let his side down at all. But there again, a very experienced player, and I do think anybody can play at full-back if you've got a wee bit of football in you.
Here's Davis for Arsenal. Marwood to his left, Winterburn charging forward as well. He goes on his own, and it wasn't a bad effort. Could have been some way to reintroduce himself to the first team. Davis, a strong run, very composed player on the ball always. Saw an opening, but just hit it wrong. Here's Smith. Marwood takes over. Check back well, Marwood. Davis battling for it in the penalty area. But it's Spurs who come clear. Not for long, though. Arsenal continue the pressure. And that was offside. Michael Thomas. Ten minutes to go. Arsenal 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Bowles header. Waddle for Spurs. Mitchell Thomas hooks it on. Again, the ball spent a little bit too much time in the air. Not a vintage Arsenal display by any means, but over the course of a league season, you can play well, as they did, superbly well. Aston Villa, and as long as you win, sometimes you have to scrap for it as well. Perry Groves obviously warming up, and actually he's going to be the second Arsenal sub. Mitchell Thomas. Arsenal want to make that substitution now. Looks like Brian Marwood is the player who will go off, and Perry Groves, whose uncle Vic Groves played for both Arsenal and Spurs, will take his place. Scored a goal, coming on as a late substitute at Aston Villa. Busy, lively player with plenty of pace, who can play on either wing or indeed down the middle. Very valuable substitute. O'Leary forward for Oxford. Nelson will be delighted that for once he hasn't been substituted. O'Leary. Good play by Merson. Mims always favourite to reach it first. A good early kick. Stewart heads it on, but all the knock-ons from Tottenham seem to drop in Arsenal territory.
The game is beginning to swing back in Arsenal's favour after that initial burst by Tottenham in the second half. Alan, I feel that, you know, the Arsenal boys now have a stranglehold on it and really should now be able to hold on.
Yes, Terry Venables will look back on those early misses in the second half by Chris Waddle and regret them. But he will at the moment, but it's not over yet. Walsh for Spurs. Again, Merson battling well. Here's O'Leary. Well, he was expecting an awful lot of Merson then. And that's a goal kick. So Arsenal edging ever closer to what will be a very satisfying 3 points against their old rivals, and a very important 3 points if they can clinch it. Davis. Smith getting away from Butters. Groves. And Bergson has had an impressive match. 3 impressive matches since he came into the team. He's one for the future, no doubt. Mabbott up well. Turned on by Davis. And again by Mabbott. Waddle plays it forward, but take your pick. Either Walsh or Stewart offside. And like all good goalkeepers, Lukic found the top row of the stand just in case.
Were you saying about Bergson before, Alan, that he's on trial at the moment?
Officially, yes, because he's an amateur player, and Tottenham have applied for a work permit for him. They wanted to become a full-time professional, of course. He's still at university, in fact, studying law over in Iceland, in Reykjavik. Bright lad, nice lad, and clearly they've picked up a real winner here, because officially they won't even have to pay a fee for him. Merson for Arsenal. Rocastle. Merson again. Oh, good play by Rocastle, brought down by Mitchell-Thomas. Davis eager to get involved in everything now. The number 12 there will take the kick. Smith amongst those waiting. Boulders behind him, and it was a fine header by Smith.
Good free kick curling in towards the goal, taken with his left foot. Alan Smith again across the front of the defenders and just over the top. But they'll score a lot of goals with free kicks this season, the Arsenal.
Incidentally, Ian, I'm going to put you on the spot in a minute. We've got to have your nomination for man of the match. Mitchell-Thomas. This is Waddle. Fennick in quickly, but Arsenal win it back and then give it away. Mitchell-Thomas again. Four minutes to go. Arsenal 1, Tottenham 0. And suddenly it breaks for Merson. Good tackle. You made your mind up yet, Ian?
Well, yes. I'm discussing with myself which of the players to give, but I think I'll give it to Nigel Winterburn.
The Arsenal left-back who's had a very effective match.
Well, I do feel, I mean, he's done everything right in defence. I mean, he's tidied up, did everything right. But he supported the attack so well today. I mean, he's been a thorn in Tottenham's side all afternoon. Whipped some great crosses in, supported his team up that left-hand side. And I think he's had a great game. I think he is now bordering on an England cap.
Yes, I think a lot of people would agree with that. Arsenal on the counter-attack again. And there he is, Winterburn, just underlining those qualities, although in the end they run into trouble there. Mainly Groves rather than Winterburn. And Spurs not dead yet. Walsh. Rocastle sweeping up well. Only 3 minutes on the watch remaining. And dare one say, it looks as though Arsenal have done enough for a win. Certainly the North Bank will celebrate if Arsenal can beat their fierce rivals and go back to the top of the league, of course. Walsh for Spurs, though, finds Stewart. It's a good-looking ball in. Mabbott came to meet it, and Lukic relieved to get away with that. Mabbott so good at stealing forward almost unnoticed like that. And Lukic had one eye on him as the cross came in from Stewart and one on the ball. It just came off Mabbott.
Lukic actually has been a little bit rocky today in a couple of crosses, hasn't he? I mean, he was late coming out for this one, and then when he did come, he just didn't get there. Mabbott got across in front of him there and just got a little flick on it.
Free kick to Tottenham. Waddle was being fouled by Michael Thomas. Spurs have taken it quickly. Bergson. Walsh did well. And it drops for Stewart. What a miss. We will not look forward to seeing that one again on the video tonight. The most clear-cut opportunity of the whole game. Walsh did so well to find him, took it down quickly and well. Only the goalkeeper to beat, and straight at him. The other end, Merson for Arsenal. And he's gone into the gap. Here's Waddle for Spurs. Too far ahead of Stewart. Well, they've been saying all season, Spurs, that front men haven't been contributing enough goals. Today's proved that.
They've certainly had the better of the chances in the game, haven't they, Alan? You know, with clear-cut chances. And really, Stewart has had to score there. It was a tremendous chance.
Mabbott's header. And Rocastle with the acrobatic clearance. Here's Ferkler. Smith in hard. So was Merson. So was Butters. And Arsenal really hunting in packs in midfield to try and deny Venables and his Tottenham team. Here's Stewart again. Waddle couldn't control it. Run back by Mitchell Thomas, but in fact it has gone up for him. So it's Arsenal's throw. George Graham anxiously eyeing his watch, knowing that they're just seconds away from victory. One last push perhaps by Spurs. Bennett lifts it in. Away by Adams. Butters intercepts at the other end. And Bergson keeping it in. That was a foul, I think, by Michael Thomas on Paul Allen. It was. So Spurs will throw everybody forward now for this free kick. And Venables, I'm sure, is telling them that. Deliver it into the box will be the message. The Arsenal fans shrieking for the final whistle. And in it comes. Too close to Lukic. We're into the second minute of time that's been added. And of all people, Waddle all the way backside his own half. Referee's looking at his watch now as Mims kicks forward again. The crowd thought they'd heard the final whistle, not yet. Butters knocks it forward. Bowles header. Waddle. Mabbott intercepted. And then cleared by O'Leary. Merson for Arsenal. And support arriving from Thomas. And he finds him. Can he clinch it? In the dying seconds, Michael Thomas ensures victory and the leadership of the First Division for Arsenal. Well, Arsenal have ended with style. And Paul Merson, who scored the first goal, did so well. Michael Thomas kept calm. 2-0.
Always happens, doesn't it? You know, you're pressing away at one end, the opposition break away, and bang, 2-0.
They've kicked off, but there won't be much time for any more football now, and Spurs know this is not to be their day. There's the final whistle. A little bit of icing on the cake from Michael Thomas. Arsenal battled hard. Certainly didn't play as well as they did at Aston Villa, but Spurs didn't allow them to. Spurs had the chances, no question. They will talk about the penalty that never was. They will talk about the misses from Stewart and Waddle, but in the end, they've lost. Arsenal 2, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Well, not quite the fireworks of yesterday at Old Trafford, but that was pure theatre. Certainly the commitment and the speed of the match was comparable in that respect. A typical derby match. Arsenal back on top of the First Division. Well, still to come on the match this afternoon. 9 First Division goals after the break. Welcome back. Let's complete our roundup of all today's First Division action as Nottingham Forest win for the second time in 3 days. And Southampton, who lost 4-1 at home to Queen's Park Rangers on New Year's Eve, conceding another 6 Away to Luton. Martin Tyler starts us off. Martin.
Well, not the best way for John Burridge to mark his return to Southampton's league side. Burridge beaten by Mick Harford's header in the second minute. Southampton 7 league games without a win before today, and out of sorts again here. Graham Baker's misjudged back pass, Kingsley Black nipping in 2-0, still only 7 minutes played. And it stayed that way until Roy Wegerle sparked a 3-goal in 3-minute spell early in the second half. Wegerle, the South African, so certain of his footing on the synthetic surface. From the kick-off, Southampton made their only impression on the scoreline. Luton still celebrating. Rodney Wallace punishing the slackness, 3-1. But any hopes of a recovery were quashed immediately when Luton went 4-1 up. Wegerle, the marksman again, a thumping drive this time. And Luton, who'd conceded 4 on Saturday at Wimbledon, had scored 4 now. Southampton's tally of goals conceded this weekend, now 8, and 2 more to come. Ricky Hill placing his shot perfectly with 68 minutes gone, and that was 5 for Luton. It really was a day when everything went in for them, even off the chest of Mick Harford. Luton Town 6, Southampton 1.
Everton had a great chance to take the lead at Forest after Pearce pulled down Nevin. Trevor Stevens sent Sutton the wrong way, but missed for the second time this season. 7 minutes later, Forest went ahead. England under-21 international Gary Parker striking his first goal for the club since joining from Hull last season. And what a strike it was. In the second half, Neil Webb's through ball found Gaynor onside, if only just, and the Irishman finished it with precision. Everton beaten in the league for the first time in 11 games. Forest 2, Everton 0.
Well, thanks very much to Martin Tyler and to Mark Austin. Let's have a little look now at the top of the First Division. We'll find that Arsenal are now 2 points clear. They've also got a superior goal difference, and they've got a game in hand over Norwich. Now, this morning, of course, Spurs were in 10th position, but as we now look at the bottom half of the First Division, I think we can see that Spurs have dropped into that bottom half. There they are in 11th position. Wimbledon, with 5 wins out of 6, have pulled up to 12th position. And at the bottom, it's West Ham really in trouble now. Just above them, Newcastle, Charlton and Sheffield Wednesday really had a disastrous run. Righty-ho, well, that's all from Highbury this afternoon. We've got a break next week before we come back with Spurs against Nottingham Forest in 2 weeks' time. From Highbury, bye-bye.
Of the FA Cup in the last 11 years. Second division against First then, and Tony Gubber commentating.
4 First Division teams have lost cup ties at Valley Parade in the last 18 months, and there's a capacity